Okay, hey everyone, so welcome to Double Miracle Time for July 2020. So this one came up to me as a bit of a surprise. As some of you know, I've been talking about this for a while in terms of something that I've been waiting for. So I did have some Maple points set aside for this event, planning on a number of equips that I needed to tier up to Legendary in order for me to start working on them in terms of endgame gear for both the Xenon and the Corsair. In terms of an event, how did I walk away from it? There was a little bit of... I felt a bit disappointed with it, if I could, put a word on it. Largely just due to some of the equips just really not happening in terms of results. One of them being this emblem here. I managed to get a good result on the bonus potential, but in terms of getting it to a good position, but in terms of the main stat, it just refused to do anything. It was very strange. Like, I felt like I wasn't getting the frequency of results that I was normally used to, especially in Miracle Times that I'd done in Reboot and on the Xenon, years ago. It was a strange one, because I'd say the total amount, if I put a dollar value on it, the day before Miracle Time was announced, I had about 50k NX, 50k Maple points sitting on the Xenon and 20k sitting on the Aussie style Corsair, so I had a total of 70k Maple points there. And I then went and converted a further 5 bill into about, I think it was like just short of, it was about 80k, because it took me up to 134 Maple points altogether on the Xenon. So then I had 134 sitting there, and then I had 20k sitting on the other account. So what I ended up doing was, over the past week, I've been doing a bit more work. So I ended up getting a little bit extra cash on the side, so I decided to tip some of that into NX. So I did purchase some NX for this event just because of the really, really late notice and not having enough on hand for doing what I wanted to do. So I tipped in further, how much was it? I added a further 30k NX to the 20k Maple points that I had on the extra Corsair, and then I tipped another 70k Maple points into the Xenon. So then I had, so pretty much 200k on the Xenon, 50k on the Corsair, so a total of 250k Maple points, which added up to about 3 stacks of the 30 black cube packages, and then 2 further bonus potential ones, so about 150 cubes altogether. And then I think I had I had a stack left of the reds from the relay event, and then I used the event shop reds and blacks as well. So don't get me wrong, I did get some good results in this. I am happy with the Xenon side of things, so I'm happy where I got to with those sorts of things, but this event, I really focused on a lot of the things with the Corsair. I went out there wanting to get the emblem done, the hat top bottom. I'm actually in the process of making a Chaos Vellum hat, which gives you 1 extra slot, so it's better than the Pierre hat that I've made. I hadn't really gone that far with the Pierre hat other than making it perfected on 30% Dex spell traces, so I'm in the process of doing it with a Vellum hat. There were a number of equips that I wanted to get prepped for the Corsair, but yeah, it didn't really happen to in terms of what I had in mind, I didn't really get it. So I still did get some stuff, as you can see there. I'm getting the messages and stuff in terms of rewards. But yeah, with the Xenon, I wanted to work on this Octa controller, so the Princess knows one, since it's a level 140 in comparison to the level 101 that the Xenon gets as part of its just job advancement. So this is a replacement one. I only had one octa-core controller anyway, so I figure I may end up just making like a bossing one and a training one. That being said, that the bossing isn't really going to be that, the training, isn't going to be that big of a thing after I hit 275, but it might just be worthwhile having a tradable secondary anyway. if I decide to do like another Corsair at some, keep saying Corsair, another Xenon at some point. My apologies. But yeah, it's more just yeah, something that's there to upgrade. And yeah, so we did get a result on that. I'm fairly happy to say. And then I also worked on the Scarlet Shoulder, which I've put a few videos out on in terms of when I scrolled it, Starforced it, and cubed it a little bit. So yeah, the Xenon, I'm perfectly happy with where I got to. There really wasn't that many equips. Maybe I was a bit ambitious in terms of the money that I had to spend in comparison to the amount of equips that I wanted to work on. Like, I've been trying to run the numbers in my head in terms of working out what the actual ratio of cubes to equips in tier ups I was actually hoping for, but maybe I did get a little bit too ambitious with about 250k maple points, and how many equips would it have been? It would have been at least 5 equips per character on the 3 characters that I worked on, so we're talking about at least 15 equips. And yeah, it's pushing it a little bit in terms of getting a result, but I was expecting a few more tier ups than I actually got. Yeah, so we did get the controller to 2 legendary stats, so I'm happy with that. I'll make some videos on getting that to a good line here. So yeah, so then these rings here are things that I'm trying to make for the Corsair, because I'm not taking anything away from the Xenon. I'm not taking any drop gear away. I'm not taking any equips away that are very important to the Xenon. So I do have a spare Golex pendant on the Xenon, and I do have a spare one on the old Corsair, so I'll pretty much move those 2 across onto low fat once I actually start playing it. But I need to make they're making a belt, and then also working on superior earring, superior ring, reinforced ring, and solid ring. And then I'll also end up making a Meister ring as well, but that'll be further down the track. I'm going to try and get my hands on a essence first, and then yeah, just be able to make one without having to fork out some meso for it. But I have sat down and thought just before putting this video together in terms of what my approach will be in regards to this second character and its equips. I'm not going to spend any more money during this event, just because I've just got a funny feeling about the results that I've gotten on this so far, that I can't see the value in it. So I'd much rather work on things over a longer period of time for the Corsair, where I don't see myself playing it. I don't see myself playing it for at least another 3 or 4 months. So like the Xenon's about 2 months away from hitting 275, and then I'm going to work on my Legion. That's when I'll start moving things onto the Corsair. But in terms of actually properly training it and playing it, I don't see myself doing that anytime soon. So for all I know, I could come up against another Miracle Time event before I actually start playing this character properly. So yeah, it is like I can't help but feel a little bit disappointed, because I didn't. Every time I don't get exactly what I'm after, you know, I will feel a little bit of disappointment. But yeah, it's still a work in process. We can work on things slowly. I imagine like I'll probably alternate between star forcing and cubing. So I'll do some star forcing on the Xenon, because that's really what it needs at the moment. And then I'll do some cubing on the Corsair's equips, because that's really, the stats are really what it's after. My aim behind these rings here are to create some new drop rate rings, so that I can move some stuff over to the Corsair as well. So yeah, so these are just some filler drop rate stuff that I might work on from time to time, just if there's nothing else in my inventory. So then I can use the Golex stuff for other things. So yeah, so I did see that, you can see a lot of spam there in terms of people getting results. So I'm sure people got some good stuff out there. Don't take it away from what you're seeing here. I do acknowledge that like I've gotten some good results on the core controller, and then I can't remember how quickly this. Sorry, I just keep hearing cars driving in the background. It's driving me nuts. This room isn't very soundproofed. Yeah, I can't really remember how quickly this thing went. But yeah, like I just felt, I was watching that timer. Yeah, there you go. I was watching all the remaining cubes going down, and it it was really starting to bug me how many cubes I was ripping through before I actually got a result. I think this shirt, this top, is a very, very good representation of what I was feeling in terms of how many cubes I actually go through before anything actually happens. I can't really say whether anything happens on this thing or not. So I did feel like there was I did get a little bit unlucky on it. But yeah, it's one of those things where it is just down to RNG. So get lucky in some parts, unlucky in other parts. Yeah, we move on. It's the sort of thing where I don't know. I can't feel too disappointed about it because I'm in a position where I was able to spend the money that I have spent, and it is for a second character. So I've already got one character that can do pretty much everything that I want it to do, and this thing is just more of a personal interest where I do enjoy the class, and I am really looking forward to going back to the Corsair and seeing everything that it can do. But yeah, just whenever I'm working on something, I almost want to do it in one sitting in terms of just finishing it all, not having it as a project that's sitting around, because I feel like the longer it drags out, the longer that it might not be done. I'd just rather work on an equip, make it from start to finish, get it cubed, get it scrolled, get it star forced, and then just wear it and have it done, and then move on to the next one. So I think that's, when you really, really dig down to it, I think that's what's bugging me the most, because I set aside all of these equips. And here comes another car driving past. Yeah, I really don't know why that's so loud. So yeah, so you saw how many cubes this thing went through. It's just crazy. So yeah, I've got some of the red cubes there from the relay event, and then some red cubes from the event shop to use on it. But yeah, it was just one of those things where like I just felt like it was almost intentionally unlucky on the Corsair stuff, and then I was lucky on the Xenon stuff. It's a very, very strange how it all just kind of fell both ways like that. So yeah, I was only working on 2 equips with the Xenon, but yeah, they both got to where they needed to get, which is, yeah, it's the main part. It's the most important thing. So yeah, I can get that Scarlet Shoulder equipped once I get some good stats on it, and then yeah, I'll have some fun with the Princess Nose controller too, just to get some results. So that's some future content that we can keep an eye out for. But yeah, so that's where I got to in this Miracle Time, guys. Hopefully you guys got some good results too. And yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. See ya.